everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking with Michael Chagala. Michael, it's great to connect with you, CEO and founder of Rank Harvest. I really like the topic we're going to talk about today. You are about SEO and digital marketing, rankharvest.com. And I love this topic because I think it's confusing for many people. So I like talking about it. I'm a business coach, and I work with people who are stuck and successful and stuck and like to get them unstuck. And I think people are stuck when it comes to understanding what SEO really is, and how it can work for them, and how to even take the first step. And so as a business person who's in this field, what's the first thing you guide people to get them unstuck when it comes to how they think about SEO and how they should be thinking SEO?
Well, you're right. SEO is confusing for most business owners, and understandably so, because it's equal parts art, science, a little bit of mystery mixed in. Essentially, you're working with Google's algorithm, and that's a closed system. And it can be a little tricky to work with sometimes. There's kind of no guarantees sometimes in SEO. Kind of have to experiment a bit, and that can be hard for business owners to wrap their head around, who just want to know exactly, okay, if I'm going to spend this much money in SEO, what exactly is my return going to be? And as an SEO professional, you can't always give them an exact answer.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I think, people look at things either as an investment or as an expense. And so I think a lot of times with SEO, I think a lot of times people first see things as an expense before they see it as an investment. So how do you get people unstuck on that?
Well, what I tell people is that, first of all, SEO, it's absolutely an investment, and it's actually a good investment in that, other than the fact that you generally have to pay an SEO professional to get you to rank higher, once you're there, it's sort of free traffic and free leads. It's not like other forms of advertising where, let's say, you quit paying, and let's say with paid ads. The moment you stop paying for your paid ads, just poof, they're gone. SEO is much more persistent. It makes it a much better investment, but it does take it a little longer. Generally speaking, when we get a new client, we tell them, look, for the first 1 to 3 months, you may not see any changes to your rank or to your traffic or to your business.
Right.
We got to work at it for a little bit, and that's just kind of the nature of SEO.
Yeah. And so how do they usually kind of, what's the driving force that gets them unstuck to say, let's try it?
A lot of times business owners just sort of know they're supposed to be doing this thing called SEO.
Yeah.
And they don't really understand it at a much deeper level than that. Usually, if we can get them on a Zoom or on the phone and really talk to them about what SEO can do for them. First of all, we just need to educate them on exactly what SEO even means, and then let them know, here's how you get that return on investment. There's all these keywords out there that people are searching, or search phrases, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's actually not terribly difficult to get on page 1 or even position 1 for some of those searches. And man, that could really drive some high converting traffic. It's very powerful when a visitor sees that a business is ranking on page 1 or in position 1. There's a lot of assumed credibility there. Visitors kind of know that Google scrutinizes websites, and they're not going to put someone in the number 1 position who doesn't deserve to be there.
Yeah. All right, good. Let's talk about kind of lessons learned in the SEO world. I think a lot of times once people start seeing results and they can see their ROI, what's the one lesson that they see in hindsight, maybe that they were nervous to kind of get in. But at that 4-month, 6-month mark, they say, oh, okay, the lesson is, or what I would have done differently or earlier is what?
Yeah, that's easy. It's always, I should have started doing this years ago.
Yeah.
Once we get into that point where that, that organic traffic is coming in and it's increasing each month, and these kind of promises we made at the beginning of, just give us a little time to work with your site and we'll get you there. And then as soon as we get them there, they're delighted and they say they should have done this from day one.
Yeah.
The longer you do SEO, the more it grows. So the sooner you get on it and get started, the faster you're going to get to that growth.
Yeah, I love that. Let's talk about growth. As far as you as a business owner, you have this company, you've done other entrepreneurial things. Who is a mentor? What advice has a mentor given you along the way that has helped you kind of, shape your journey?
I think the best advice I got was when I was transitioning from a long career in corporate digital marketing, that it never really sat right with me. I was never 100% satisfied with that. I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing. And, having done digital marketing in the corporate world for 20 years, I know how to do all that. And I wanted to start a business doing that. And the shorter answer is that the best advice I got was to take the leap of faith and jump into my own business and just have the confidence to know that whatever the universe threw my way, that I was going to be able to overcome it. And that's a big step when, I have a wife, 2 kids, a mortgage, a comfortable career in corporate digital marketing, a steady paycheck. And here I am trying to make the decision, well, I want to quit that and jump into my own business with absolutely no guarantees of success.
Yeah.
And, I dragged my feet for a little bit, but finally took the advice to take that leap. And man, it sure worked out. And I wish I would have done this a long time ago. I'm not saying it's not hard work and sometimes long hours, but being in the driver's seat of my own business, there's just nothing.
There's nothing like it.
Better.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I started my coaching business 9 years ago, and people ask me like, any regrets? And I always say, yeah, my only regret is I didn't start it sooner.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, Michael, let's do a mini business course on SEO. All right. And so fundamentally, let's kind of break it down into layman's terms. What are 3 things that everybody needs to do to get ready to kind of get their mindset in the space that they are ready to kind of do SEO, and then, what their first steps would be? So step 1, what's the mindset that they need to be in?
The first mindset they need to be in is that you're not going to get instant results. SEO, in fact, Google's algorithm is designed for there to be kind of a delay in results when it comes to various SEO efforts. Google really makes you prove to it that you deserve to be moved up in rankings in search.
All right. So mindset of delayed gratification versus instant gratification.
Yeah.
That the investment is a minimum 6 to 12 month investment to begin to see the results, because that's kind of a barrier to entry as well, is what I'm hearing you say.
Depends how competitive the customer's space is.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's a local service provider, let's say a local plumber, and there's not much competition in the community that they're in, sometimes we can get them in the number 1 position real quick.
Yeah.
But if it's a competitive space, and let's say you're fighting, Amazon or Walmart for space on page 1, that can take sometimes years. But usually, no matter how competitive the space, usually at about the 6-month mark, our customer can really, any SEO professional should be able to put their finger on increases in traffic as a result of their work.
Yeah.
But customers should be prepared that sometimes those first 2 months, you're just cutting a check to your SEO professional and you're not seeing results.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's step one. Step two, we're at the 6 month mark. You're seeing results. What's the mindset you need to have at that point?
So I would say at that point, the best thing is that you need to know how to measure the success of your SEO professional or agency. I'm not saying you have to be an SEO expert yourself, but you need to know what metrics to look at to know that your agency is actually getting you results,
Yeah,
or cherry picking data and saying, we got you in the number one spot for 10 keywords. But if those 10 keywords aren't driving traffic, it's kind of meaningless.
yeah.
So you need to know what to hold your agency accountable to.
And one of the things I talk about when I'm working with coaching clients is you got to know what your anchor goal is. You got to know what your anchor measurement is. You got to know what's that one thing that you're quantifying that you can make sure that you get the results. All right, so now we're 1 year in. We've gotten some results. How should somebody be thinking about year two?
Well, this reminds me of a situation where often we will start driving so much traffic to a website, only to discover they don't have a system for managing leads. So SEO will get will get traffic or website visitors to your front door, but if you're not managing the leads that are created from that, it's things like if someone fills out your contact form, are you getting back to these people quickly, or are you waiting to the end of the day when you're done doing business and trying to pick up the phone or email them at that point in time? Business owners need to be prepared that when a lead comes in through the website, you need to get back to them fast, really faster than they can hit the back button and go back out to Google search and go to your competitor who may get back to them faster. So a lot of times we'll get wonderful increases in traffic to a website, but then the business owner is saying, well, my business isn't increasing as a result.
Yeah.
That's when we discover, well, you're not doing anything to manage these leads.
Right. Right. You have to have think community. We talk about a lot about this on the show is you need the infrastructure in place because one thing I think, Michael, that every company has to be the best at is follow up and accessibility. And if you're not, you can spend, millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of dollars. But if you don't have the system set up to follow up, then you're just asking people to walk out the door. And I think what you bring up is really, really important. Let me ask you a question. So when it comes to SEO and when it comes to rankings, if you go to your website, rankharvest.com, it says celebrating our 4,000th customer. So let's just rewind that for a minute. And I want to talk just business person to business person to all the entrepreneurs out there, because 4,000th customer for somebody who wants to even just start their own business right now seems, the law of proximity is so far. And so let's talk about, what did you do to get your first 10 customers?
Oh, well, actually, so when I first started Rank Harvest, I actually started it as a side hustle. So I had my regular day job, and in the evenings and the mornings, even during my lunch break, I would work Rank Harvest as a side hustle. I'd get up at 4 in to work several hours before my day job. Then during my lunch break, I would go to the local library, do another hour of work, and then I come home and do a few more hours, and then 12 hours each on the weekend. So I was maximizing every possible hour I had, and I did that for a few years. The way I was getting business at first was actually putting ads out on Craigslist and just doing all the work myself.
It's great. It's great. Hustle and grit and hard work. It's always the foundational secret sauce, right? It's always. I love that. All right, let's do a quick speed round. A book that's had a big impact on you.
Repeat that.
A book that's had a big impact on you.
Oh man, you know what? I've read so many. I'm not going to have a good answer to that because I've read so many. I've consumed so many books and podcasts. You know, before I started this business,
What's
for
a
the
book that sticks out the
2
most?
years, I read every book and listened to
Yeah.
every podcast I possibly could about entrepreneurship.
What's a book that you would recommend if somebody calls you and say, "Give me a book to help, grow my business"? A business book.
Come back to me on that. I got to think about that just a little bit.
Best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
Taking that leap of faith. When I decided I wanted to start a business, go for it, jump in, no safety net, burn the bridges behind you so you can't retreat.
Yeah.
And you'll get the best performance out of yourself.
Yeah.
If there's no retreat, that way you give every moment 100%, knowing that there's no going back at that point.
Yeah. Great. I agree. If you can, and if you can't, like you said, start part-time and ease into it. Last question, finish a sentence. One thing everybody can do today to begin educating themselves on SEO is?
I would get on YouTube and just start watching videos, tutorials, just people talking about SEO. 80% of SEO is not terribly difficult to learn for anybody. It's really only that extra 20% where if you're not immersed in it every day of your life, but that first 80%, you can really teach yourself a lot quickly. And even if you're going to do the work yourself, even knowing that first 80%, you're now going to be in a much better position to know who to hire to help you if they're doing things right. It's just not terribly difficult to learn enough to kind of know what's going on.
Good. I love it. I will go back real quickly. If you can think of a book or a TED Talk that's had an impact on you, or an article or a podcast.
Oh,
I'll throw out one. I'll throw out one if one can't come to mind. I'll throw out one if one can't come to mind. One of my favorite books that I read last year that I'm actually listening to again right now is called Smart Brevity, and I think you would love it, Michael. It's a book by the guys who created Axios and Politico, and it's about how to say more with less. It's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant book. So there we go. We'll collaborate on the book of choice. Yeah. Michael, this was great. I appreciate your insights and your time and your story about creating Rank Harvest, rankharvest.com, SEO and digital marketing. Congratulations on your 4,000th, I'm sure, plus by now customer.
Yeah.
I'm a business coach. I work with people who are successful and stuck. I get them unstuck. I love what I do because I get to work and talk to people all over the globe. I want to extract, a couple of things that you talked about, which is if you have something inside of you, whether it's part-time or jumping in full-time, you'll always look back and say, you wish you would have started sooner. So just start somewhere with an idea journal, with doing something for 10 minutes a day to bring it to life and begin to cultivate. Your dog, I'm working from home today. My dogs are barking. Your dog, it's great. And just, take time to study and learn about things that you may be uncomfortable about. And I think SEO is one of those topics. So if you don't know about it, spend some time, like Michael was talking about, on YouTube, do some research and see if it's a fit for you. Michael, tell everybody where they can connect with you, learn more about you, et cetera, et cetera.
It's just as easy as going to rankharvest.com to learn more about us. And if you want to contact us, just simply fill out the contact form. And I personally get on a consultation Zoom with anyone who thinks they may be interested in our services.
Great. It's great. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to talk about some business coaching, you can reach me at jondwoskin.com. Michael, this was great. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.